Hello, Zenith women, and welcome to the channel. If you're watching this right now, anywhere, it's no coincidence. What we're about to reveal is mind-blowing, and trust me, you're not going to want to look away. We're diving into a truth that most people shy away from, but you found your way here for a reason. What we're going to break down is the raw, unfiltered reality of a type of woman you don't hear about enough, the Sigma female. She's not the nice girl you're used to seeing, and in fact, she couldn't be more different. This isn't about cliches, feel-good stories, or following the rules. Sigma females aren't interested in being liked, playing the game, or being anyone's idea of perfect. They redefine what it means to stand tall in a world that's obsessed with conformity. We're talking about women who choose power over popularity, authenticity over approval, and self-respect over anything else. These are the women who don't ask for permission. They make their own rules. So, if you're ready to peel back the layers and understand what sets these extraordinary women apart, what makes them truly unstoppable, stay tuned. This is the kind of insight that will challenge everything you thought you knew about strength, independence, and how to navigate life without apologizing for who you are. Prepare for a wake-up call. What you're about to learn will change the way you see the world. Number 1. They don't apologize for their ambition. Sigma females don't water down their ambitions to make others comfortable. They aren't afraid to be seen as too much, and they don't apologize for wanting more. More success, more fulfillment, more out of life. While others may shrink themselves to fit into societal expectations, Sigma females take up space unapologetically. They know ambition can make people uneasy, especially in a world that often rewards humility over hunger, but they don't care. They refuse to downplay their goals for the sake of being more likable or relatable. What makes them stand out is their clarity of purpose. Sigma females know exactly what they want and pursue it with laser focus. They aren't swayed by criticism or the fear of judgment because they've learned that the world will always have opinions, regardless of what they do. To them, ambition isn't arrogance. It's survival. It's what drives them to push through obstacles and carve out their own path, even in environments that try to hold them back. They also don't seek permission to dream big. A Sigma female doesn't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or anyone's approval to chase her goals. She sets the bar high and keeps raising it, not to prove anything to anyone else, but because she thrives on personal growth and challenge. People often mistake this drive as selfishness or coldness, but to her, it's just authenticity. She knows her ambition will intimidate some, inspire others, and alienate a few, but none of that matters. Her focus isn't on pleasing everyone. It's on creating the life she envisions, unapologetically and relentlessly. For the Sigma female, ambition isn't just about success. It's about staying true to herself and refusing to settle for anything less than what she knows she's capable of achieving. Number 2, they value respect over approval. Sigma females don't waste their time chasing approval. They're not interested in being liked for the sake of it, nor do they compromise their values or identity to make others feel comfortable. Unlike nice girls who may prioritize being agreeable to gain validation, Sigma females prioritize self-respect first. They understand that approval is fickle. One wrong move, one unpopular opinion, and it vanishes. Respect, however, is earned through authenticity and standing firm in who you are, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable for others. They're not afraid to make decisions that might rub people the wrong way if it means staying true to themselves. They don't sugarcoat their thoughts or actions just to be accepted. This doesn't mean they're rude or dismissive. They value meaningful relationships, but they won't bend over backward to gain favor. For Sigma females, being respected for their principles, actions, and independence is infinitely more valuable than being liked for playing it safe. They know the difference between superficial approval and deep respect. Approval can be conditional, shallow, and tied to conformity, but respect is rooted in authenticity and strength. A Sigma female would rather walk away from a situation where she's misunderstood than dilute herself to fit someone else's mold. To her, respect is non-negotiable. It's the foundation for how she interacts with the world. This mindset can intimidate others because it's rare and unshakable. People who expect blind agreement or constant validation won't find it here. Instead, they'll meet someone who values integrity over popularity and substance over surface-level acceptance. Sigma females operate on their own terms, and they don't just ask for respect. They command it through their actions, confidence, and unwavering sense of self. Number 3. Their silence is a power move, not insecurity. For Sigma females, silence isn't awkward, it's intentional. They don't feel the need to fill every quiet moment with words, nor do they speak just to be heard. Instead, they use silence as a strategic tool, knowing it can carry more weight than even the most eloquent speech. In a world where people rush to explain, defend, or entertain, their ability to remain calm and silent sets them apart. This silence isn't born from insecurity or a lack of confidence, it's rooted in control. Sigma females understand the power of holding back, observing, and choosing their moments carefully. They watch as others reveal themselves through nervous chatter or impulsive reactions, learning more by listening than by speaking. When they do break their silence, their words are deliberate and impactful, cutting through the noise like a sharp blade. They also recognize that silence can shift dynamics. In conversations, their quietness can make people uncomfortable, forcing them to confront their own words or assumptions. In disagreements, their refusal to engage in unnecessary back and forth sends a clear message. They don't argue for the sake of arguing. Their silence isn't submission, it's a declaration of boundaries, signaling that not everything or everyone is worth their energy. Sigma females know that silence commands attention. When they're quiet, people listen more closely, waiting for their input, because they've earned a reputation for speaking only when it matters. This makes their voice all the more powerful, turning silence into a tool of influence, rather than a symptom of insecurity. It's not that they don't have things to say, it's that they choose to say them only when the timing and context align with their purpose. In a world of constant noise, their silence is their strength. Number 4. They reject emotional labor. Sigma females draw a hard line when it comes to emotional labor. They're not the ones constantly checking in on others, soothing egos, or taking on the role of an unpaid therapist for people who refuse to take responsibility for their own growth. Unlike nice girls, who often feel obligated to shoulder the emotional burdens of everyone around them, Sigma females understand that constantly giving in this way is draining and unsustainable. They don't equate care with sacrifice, and they certainly don't equate their worth with how much of themselves they give away. For a Sigma female, emotional labor is a choice, not an obligation. She's deeply empathetic, but knows that empathy has its limits, especially when it's not reciprocated. She sees through patterns of dependency and manipulation. When people rely on her emotional energy to fix problems they have no intention of solving. Instead of enabling these cycles, she steps back, forcing others to face their issues head-on. Her refusal to engage in this dynamic isn't selfish, it's self-respect. This boundary can make others uncomfortable because it challenges the traditional expectation that women should always be nurturing, patient, and endlessly available. But Sigma females aren't interested in fulfilling stereotypes. They prioritize their own emotional well-being and know that pouring all their energy into others leaves nothing for themselves. They won't sacrifice their mental health to be someone else's emotional crutch. Their rejection of emotional labor doesn't mean they lack compassion. It means they reserve their care for people who truly value it. They're supportive, but only when the relationship is balanced. They give, but not at the expense of themselves. In a world that often expects women to carry emotional weight without question, Sigma females unapologetically say no. Number 5. They defy the savior complex. Sigma. Females have no interest in being anyone's savior. They don't see themselves as responsible for fixing others or rescuing people from their own choices. While society often romanticizes the idea of self-sacrifice, especially for women, Sigma females refuse to buy into it. They understand that personal growth is something each individual has to tackle on their own. No amount of intervention, advice, or emotional investment can fix someone who isn't willing to do the work themselves. This isn't about being cold or unkind. It's about recognizing limits. Sigma females know the difference between supporting someone and carrying their burdens. They've seen how the savior complex drains energy and leaves little for their own needs. Unlike nice girls who might stretch themselves thin trying to fix broken people, Sigma females stay grounded in reality. Some people don't want to be saved, and others will take advantage of those who try. Instead of rushing to solve other people's problems, they focus on their own growth. They believe in leading by example rather than stepping in to clean up someone else's mess. This approach often confuses or frustrates those who expect unconditional help, but Sigma females don't budge. They value self-reliance and expect others to do the same. What sets them apart is their ability to draw boundaries without guilt. They can care deeply about someone without taking on the role of fixer. They'll offer wisdom or lend a hand if asked, but only if it's clear the person is genuinely committed to change. Sigma females understand that trying to save everyone only creates resentment and burnout. By stepping back, they allow others the space to face their struggles and grow stronger on their own terms. Number 6. They don't fear being misunderstood. Sigma. Females don't waste time trying to explain themselves to people who are determined to misunderstand them. They know that no matter how clearly they communicate or how carefully they present themselves, there will always be those who misjudge or misinterpret their intentions, and that's perfectly fine with them. While nice girls may bend over backward to correct assumptions or smooth things over, Sigma females see no need for such effort. They view misunderstandings as a natural part of living authentically, and in many cases, as a shield that keeps the wrong people at a distance. To them, not everyone is entitled to access their inner thoughts or motivations. They recognize that some people project their own insecurities, biases, or expectations onto others, and Sigma females simply refuse to play into that. If someone assumes they're cold, aloof, or difficult because they don't conform to expectations, the Sigma female lets it stand. She knows her truth doesn't require validation, and she isn't interested in diluting herself just to be more palatable. This mindset makes them a paradox, mysterious yet grounded, misunderstood yet unshaken. It's not that they don't care about relationships or communication, it's that they know where to draw the line. They'll clarify themselves for people who genuinely matter. But for those who are quick to judge or unwilling to understand, they let the silence speak for itself. Being misunderstood is often uncomfortable for others, but Sigma females embrace it as a sign of strength. It shows they're living on their terms, unafraid of the opinions they can't control. For them, clarity is a privilege they grant selectively, and their energy is reserved for those who've earned the right to truly know them. They wear misinterpretations not as a burden but as proof of their independence. Number 7. They prioritize energy over appearances. Sigma. Females refuse to burn themselves out trying to maintain a perfect image for the sake of others' approval. They don't chase the illusion of being effortlessly likable, approachable, or polished if it comes at the cost of their inner peace and priorities. For them, energy is a resource far too valuable to spend on curating a facade. They know that appearances, whether physical, social, or emotional, are fleeting and often irrelevant to what truly matters. While nice girls may obsess over being seen as polite, agreeable, or put together, Sigma females focus on conserving their energy for their goals, passions, and the people who genuinely matter to them. They understand that the constant performance of being pleasant is not only exhausting but also unsustainable. Sigma females don't fear being perceived as aloof or unconventional. They'd rather be authentic and focused than spread thin trying to fit into everyone's expectations. This isn't about rejecting self-care or personal presentation. It's about intent. Sigma females put effort into themselves for their own sake, not because they feel obligated to meet external standards. They know that what people think of their choices, style, or demeanor is outside their control, and therefore not worth their energy. They're comfortable with being misunderstood or even judged if it means staying true to themselves. Their priority is depth, not decoration. Whether it's how they interact with others or how they live their lives, Sigma females invest their energy into what aligns with their core values. They don't need constant validation or external approval to feel secure. In a world obsessed with appearances, they choose substance, knowing that their focus on what truly matters sets them apart in ways a perfect facade never could. Number 8. They're ruthlessly self-aware. For Sigma females, self-awareness isn't a soft, feel-good practice. It's a weapon. They don't dabble in shallow introspection or dwell in surface-level realizations. Instead, they dive deep into their flaws, blind spots, and shortcomings with brutal honesty. While most people avoid facing their uncomfortable truths, Sigma females confront them head-on, knowing that growth only happens when illusions are stripped away. They're not interested in sugarcoating who they are or clinging to comforting lies. They want the raw, unfiltered truth. This level of self-awareness makes them sharp and unshakable. They don't delude themselves with excuses or blame external factors for their failures. When something goes wrong, they dissect the situation to uncover what they could have done better, no matter how painful the realization might be. To them, every weakness is an opportunity for growth, and every blind spot is something to be uncovered and understood. Their relentless self-examination can be intimidating to others, especially those who shy away from accountability. But Sigma females aren't concerned with how their self-awareness makes others feel. They know that avoiding their flaws only leaves them vulnerable. By identifying their weaknesses, they take control of them, ensuring no one else can use those vulnerabilities against them. This ruthlessness isn't about self-criticism for its own sake. It's about empowerment. They don't wallow in their shortcomings. They work to turn them into strengths. Whether it's improving their emotional intelligence, refining their skills, or cutting toxic patterns, they see self-awareness as a battlefield where they fight to become the best version of themselves. In a world where many avoid hard truths, Sigma females thrive in them. Their unflinching honesty with themselves isn't just admirable, it's what makes them unstoppable. Self-awareness to them isn't a practice, it's a strategy for survival and success. Number 9. They're selective, but not elitist. Sigma females are incredibly selective about who they allow into their inner circle. But it's not about exclusivity or elitism. It's about self-respect. They don't waste time or energy on superficial connections or people who drain them without offering anything meaningful in return. While others might collect friendships or acquaintances like trophies to bolster their social status, Sigma females understand that the quality of relationships is far more important than the quantity. They prioritize depth, trust, and authenticity, criteria that are non-negotiable. This selectiveness doesn't come from a place of arrogance or superiority. It comes from a deep understanding of their worth and an appreciation for the value of their time and energy. Sigma females don't just invite anyone into their lives. They protect their emotional space and surround themselves with people who contribute to their growth, challenge their thinking, and add real value. They know that meaningful connections aren't built on small talk or performative interactions, but on mutual respect, shared values, and honest communication. Their boundaries are clear. They won't tolerate relationships that feel transactional, shallow, or draining. They'd rather be alone than surround themselves with people who aren't aligned with their values or who only show up when it's convenient for them. This isn't to say that Sigma females are unfriendly or dismissive, they're just discerning. If someone shows loyalty, respect, and an ability to add to their life, they're in. If not, they're out, no matter how much history or potential the other person might think they have. Sigma females don't need a large circle to feel validated. They know that true, meaningful relationships are rare, and they treat them as such. It's about quality connections that challenge and elevate them, not quantity that merely fills space. By being selective, they ensure that every person they let in brings something valuable to the table. Number 10. They don't explain themselves. Sigma females don't feel the need to justify their decisions to anyone. They know their choices are their own, and they don't owe anyone an explanation for why they do what they do. This is a stark contrast to the nice girls who often feel pressured to over-explain themselves in an attempt to gain approval or avoid conflict. For Sigma females, the act of over-explaining is a form of self-doubt, a way to water down their power, and they simply won't participate in it. They understand that their time and energy are precious. Every word they speak holds weight, and they refuse to waste it trying to make others comfortable with their choices. When they make a decision, it's because it aligns with their values, goals, or instincts, not because someone else expects them to explain it. They trust their judgment and are unapologetic about it. The people who truly matter in their lives will understand without the need for a drawn-out explanation. And if someone doesn't get it, it's not their problem. This ability to move through the world with certainty, without constantly second-guessing or justifying themselves, is a sign of their inner strength. Sigma females don't let society or others dictate how they should behave or what they should do. They act with purpose and stand by their choices, knowing that their actions speak louder than any explanation could. And for them, that's all that matters. In the end, Sigma females are not defined by society's expectations, nor do they conform to the standard narratives of what a woman should be. They are the quiet rebels, the ones who move through the world with unwavering confidence, purpose, and strength. They don't seek validation, they don't over-explain, they don't apologize for being unapologetically themselves. Instead, they live on their terms, cultivating their power through independence, authenticity, and an unshakable sense of self. If there's one thing that sets them apart from the rest, it's their refusal to fit into anyone's box. They don't play the game, they redefine it. While others might bend to expectations, Sigma females stand tall, fiercely owning their uniqueness. They prove every day that strength comes not from conforming, but from embracing your true self, unapologetically and without hesitation. So, if you've ever felt out of place, misunderstood, or like the world wants to put you in a category that doesn't quite fit, remember, you're not alone. The Sigma female is a force of nature, and while her way may not always be understood, it's undeniably powerful. This is a lifestyle, a mindset, and a way of life that refuses to be watered down. Embrace it, because the world needs more women who don't just follow the rules but make their own. If you found this insight into the world of Sigma females as eye-opening as we intended, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the community. Like, comment, and share this video with anyone who needs to hear it, because these are the conversations that need to be had. Let's spread the power of being unapologetically authentic. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and tell us how you resonate with the Sigma female mindset. Stay tuned for more content that challenges the status quo and celebrates true independence.